Let's begin with something many men quietly wonder but rarely ask out loud. What actually happens if I stop masturbating after 50? Now, this question isn't about shame, guilt, or judgment. It's about understanding the body, especially at a stage in life when health, hormones, and circulation don't work exactly the way they did at 25. The first thing to understand is that masturbation is not just a sexual act, it is tied to a whole range of body systems, including hormones, the heart, the prostate, and even sleep. When you stop, those systems don't just freeze, they respond in different ways, some helpful, some challenging, depending on your overall health. Let's talk hormones first, because they are at the center of almost everything. Testosterone is the #1 male hormone. It influences muscle strength, bone density, mood, and yes, sex drive. When a man ejaculates, testosterone levels don't suddenly vanish. Testosterone is made every day in the testicles and regulated by the brain. But here's the truth. Some studies suggest that short periods without ejaculation can create a slight rise in testosterone, especially after several days. That sounds like a good thing, right? More testosterone equals more energy. But in older men, especially those over 50, the body may not respond the same way as it did decades ago. Sometimes the boost is small, and the bigger factor is how healthy your circulation, sleep, and stress levels are. Now let's move to the brain. Masturbation causes the release of dopamine, the so-called pleasure chemical. It also releases oxytocin and prolactin, which create feelings of relaxation and satisfaction. When you stop, the brain doesn't get that same chemical reward. In younger men, this can sometimes increase frustration or anxiety. In older men, the effect can vary. Some may feel calmer, less driven by urges. Others may notice a dip in mood or more restlessness, especially in the first few weeks. This isn't addiction, it's simply the body adjusting to a change in routine. Circulation is another piece of the puzzle. Sexual release, including masturbation, brings blood flow to the pelvic region. This increases oxygen delivery to tissues, including the prostate. When you stop, blood flow is still there, but it may not be as frequent or strong. For a man over 50 who might already have issues with circulation, whether from high blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol, this can play a role in how healthy the tissues remain. Think of it like exercise. If you stop moving your muscles, they don't collapse right away, but they may lose some tone and flexibility over time. The same principle applies here. Another area to consider is sleep. Many men notice that ejaculation before bed helps them fall asleep more easily because of the calming effect of hormones like prolactin. When you stop, that benefit disappears. Some men may notice more tossing and turning at night, especially if stress is high. For men over 50, sleep is critical. It affects blood sugar, memory, mood, and heart health. So, if stopping masturbation affects your sleep, that's something worth paying attention to. Now, here's a question many men over 50 ask me. Does stopping lower the risk of prostate cancer? The answer is not simple. Some research has suggested that regular ejaculation may reduce prostate cancer risk by helping the prostate clear out old fluids. Other research finds the connection less clear. What we know for sure is that prostate health depends on a mix of factors: hormones, genetics, diet, and lifestyle. Stopping completely doesn't guarantee protection, and continuing in moderation doesn't guarantee harm. The truth is somewhere in the balance. But here's a positive note. Stopping masturbation can sometimes help men redirect their focus into other healthy routines. Instead of a quick release for stress, men may channel that energy into exercise, prayer, meditation, or hobbies that also release dopamine and improve circulation. These habits can boost testosterone naturally, strengthen the heart, and support mental health. For some men, the change creates a sense of discipline and control that actually improves their self-esteem. Still, it's not the same for everyone. Some men find stopping leads to frustration, frequent urges, or even nighttime erections that disturb their sleep. Others may feel calmer, more focused, and less distracted by sexual thoughts. The body's response depends on your hormone levels, your health history, and your mindset. So, what's the takeaway so far? Stopping masturbation after 50 doesn't ruin the body, but it does create real changes. Hormone balance shifts, the brain adjusts, circulation patterns change, and sleep may be affected. For some men, it's beneficial. For others, it may bring challenges. The most important thing is not whether you stop or continue. It's whether you understand your body, listen to its signals, and make choices that support your overall well-being. Up next, we'll look at the big picture, how stopping affects the prostate, hormones over the long term, and even your mental well-being. This is where the real heart of the conversation lies, and you'll see why awareness, not extremes, is the smartest path for men over 50. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this discussion, take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with another man in your life who might quietly be wondering about the same thing. Sometimes the best gift you can give someone is clear information at the right time. Now that we've looked at the general body changes, let's zoom in on 3 areas that matter most for men over 50: the prostate, your hormones, and your mental well-being. These 3 are deeply connected, and any change in one can ripple through the others. Let's start with the prostate, since it's the organ most men worry about after 50. As I mentioned earlier, the prostate naturally changes with age. It often enlarges, leading to benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. This can cause slower urination, weaker flow, and frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom. Now, when it comes to masturbation, some studies have found that regular ejaculation may help flush out fluids and reduce the buildup of certain substances in the prostate. This could, in theory, lower irritation and possibly lower long-term risk of prostate cancer. On the other hand, when you stop completely, the prostate still functions. It produces fluid for semen whether you release it or not. The difference is, the fluid may stay in the gland longer. For some men, this makes no noticeable difference. For others, it can create feelings of pelvic fullness, mild discomfort, or even an increased risk of prostatitis, an inflammation of the prostate. Does that mean stopping is harmful? Not necessarily. Many men live comfortably without frequent release. The important message here is awareness. If you stop and notice new prostate symptoms, like burning with urination, pelvic pain, or blood in the urine, that's a signal to check in with your doctor. Don't assume it's just part of aging. The prostate is like the engine light on your car. When it sends a signal, it's best to check under the hood. Next, let's turn to hormones. After 50, testosterone levels often decline naturally by about 1% each year. This isn't sudden, but over time it leads to reduced muscle strength, slower recovery, and lower energy. Masturbation itself does not drain testosterone. In fact, the body keeps producing it daily. But here's the interesting part. Some studies show that periods of abstinence, days or even weeks, may cause small rises in testosterone, though the effect usually levels off. For older men, that bump may not be dramatic, but it could still influence energy, confidence, or drive. The bigger hormonal shift often comes from how the brain responds. Dopamine, the reward chemical, is tied to motivation and focus. Without the regular dopamine release from sexual activity, some men may feel more steady, less distracted by urges. Others may notice dips in motivation or even mild sadness. Oxytocin and prolactin, which help create relaxation after release, may also be lower when you stop. That could mean less calm at night, and in some cases, more restlessness or stress. What does this mean in real life? It means that stopping can be a double-edged sword. Some men feel sharper, calmer, and more in control. Others feel irritable, low in energy, or even more anxious. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. It depends on your hormone balance, stress levels, and mental habits. Now let's look at mental well-being, which is just as important as the physical side. For many men, masturbation has been a private way to handle stress, tension, or even loneliness. After 50, when life changes, retirement, health issues, or children moving out, those feelings can become stronger. When you suddenly stop, you may feel an emptiness or lack of release. This can show up as frustration, short temper, or difficulty concentrating. But there's another side to this too. For some men, stopping can bring a sense of clarity. They no longer feel pulled by urges, and they redirect that energy into exercise, relationships, or hobbies. In fact, many men report improved focus and stronger self-discipline when they stop, because they're not spending energy worrying about it. So which outcome happens? The truth is, it depends on how you manage the change. If stopping leaves you restless, you'll need to find healthy outlets for stress: walking, breathing exercises, journaling, or talking with someone you trust. If stopping leaves you feeling clear and strong, then that's your body telling you it's adapting well. The key is balance and self-awareness, not extremes. Let's not forget one more important point: heart health. Masturbation increases circulation, raises the heart rate temporarily, and then relaxes the body afterward. When you stop, you lose that small form of cardiovascular activity. While it's not a substitute for exercise, it does play a minor role. That means if you stop, it's extra important to stay active in other ways: walking, light strength training, stretching, so that your heart and circulation still get regular stimulation. So, to bring this all together, stopping masturbation after 50 can affect the prostate by reducing fluid release, which may or may not matter depending on your health. It can affect hormones by slightly shifting testosterone and brain chemicals, with different results for different men. And it can affect mental well-being by either increasing frustration or building focus and clarity. The outcome depends on your overall health, your mindset, and how you choose to replace that habit with other positive actions. Coming up, we'll move into the most practical part: what you can actually do to stay healthy, balanced, and confident if you decide to stop, or even if you simply want to cut back. From diet to exercise to mental strategies, there are simple daily habits that can keep your prostate strong, your hormones steady, and your mind at peace. Before we move forward, if you've been nodding along and finding this information useful, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend. The more men talk about these things openly, the healthier and stronger we all become. Now that we've talked about the physical, hormonal, and mental changes that can happen when you stop masturbating after 50, the big question is, what should you do about it? The answer is not about choosing one extreme or the other. It's about building balance and giving your body what it needs to thrive. Let's begin with the prostate, since that's often the #1 concern. Whether you stop, cut back, or continue, your prostate still needs support. That means regular checkups with your doctor after 50, including PSA blood tests and digital exams as recommended. Beyond that, diet makes a big difference. Foods rich in antioxidants, like tomatoes, berries, and green leafy vegetables, can reduce inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish like salmon also help support circulation, which benefits the prostate. On the other hand, too much processed food, high-fat red meat, and excess alcohol can make prostate problems worse. Think of food as fuel, not just for your body, but for your gland health too. Next, let's talk about exercise. Remember earlier when we said stopping masturbation reduces one small form of circulation boost? Exercise more than makes up for it. Walking 30 minutes a day improves blood flow to every organ, including the prostate. Light strength training helps maintain testosterone levels naturally, while stretching and yoga improve pelvic floor strength, which can reduce urinary problems. Even if you can't do heavy workouts, small daily activity goes a long way. Your body doesn't care if you're running a marathon or taking a steady walk. It just needs movement to stay healthy. Now let's return to hormones. Stopping masturbation won't stop your body from producing testosterone, but you can keep your levels more steady by focusing on lifestyle. Getting enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours, is one of the best natural ways to support testosterone. Managing stress through deep breathing or mindfulness helps too, because high stress raises cortisol, which can interfere with testosterone and lower your energy. And don't forget protein. What about mental well-being? For some men, stopping can create frustration, especially in the first few weeks. If that happens, find replacement habits that give you a sense of calm or reward. Exercise releases endorphins, which are natural mood boosters. Spending time with friends or family increases oxytocin, the same hormone that creates bonding and relaxation. Creative outlets like music, reading, or gardening release dopamine in a healthy way. Remember, the brain craves balance, and it doesn't always care whether the dopamine comes from food, activity, or intimacy. By giving yourself positive outlets, you can replace what you lose and often gain more in return. Here's another powerful step: open conversation. Many men carry questions or worries about sexual health, but stay silent because they feel embarrassed. But silence only makes stress heavier. Talking with your doctor or even with a trusted friend can take a weight off your shoulders. The truth is, millions of men over 50 are thinking the same thoughts, but very few are saying them out loud. By speaking, you not only free yourself, but may help another man who is quietly struggling. Now, let's pull this all together. If you stop masturbating after 50, here's what you can expect. Your prostate will still function, but you may notice changes in urinary patterns or pelvic comfort. Your hormones will adjust, with possible small rises in testosterone and shifts in mood chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. Your mental well-being may be challenged at first, but can become stronger if you redirect energy into positive habits. Your heart and circulation need continued attention through diet, exercise, and lifestyle. So, the real answer isn't whether stopping is good or bad. The real answer is that your health depends on how you respond. If you make positive changes, staying active, eating well, managing stress, and checking your prostate, you can live strong whether you stop, cut back, or continue. Let me leave you with this thought. Life after 50 is not about loss. It's about balance. It's about listening to your body, respecting its changes, and giving it what it needs to stay healthy. The best gift you can give yourself is awareness, and the best gift you can give your loved ones is longevity, being present, active, and strong for many years ahead. So, if this video has helped clear up some questions you've had in your mind, take just a moment to click the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share it with a friend. Chances are there's another man in your life quietly asking himself the same questions, but not sure where to turn for answers. You could be the one who points him in the right direction. Stay strong, stay aware, and remember, your health is your greatest wealth.